In the early hours of March 2nd, 2018, the quiet serenity of the Shaughnessy home in Austin, Texas, was shattered. The family's state-of-the-art alarm system, which was typically armed every night, had been deactivated remotely, leaving the house vulnerable. Two shadowy figures crept through a side window, their movements calculated and deliberate. The family dogs, sensing the intrusion, barked furiously, their urgent cries piercing the silence and rousing Theodore Ted Shaughnessy from sleep. Disoriented but guided by his instinct to protect his family, Ted reached for the gun he kept in his bedside drawer and made his way toward the kitchen. The dimly lit house offered little clarity, and Ted, still groggy, struggled to piece together what was happening. As he approached the heart of the home, a figure stepped from the shadows, and before Ted could react, gunshots echoed through the house. In mere moments, the life of a man beloved by his family and community was cut short. Theodore Shaughnessy was born on February 7, 1963, in Los Angeles, California, the middle child of Teresa and David Shaughnessy. Alongside his brothers Thomas and Timothy, he grew up in a modest home where kindness and hard work were values deeply instilled by their parents. Even as a teenager, Ted exhibited qualities that set him apart. He was known for his warm demeanor, his ability to connect with people from all walks of life, and his innate generosity. Friends often remarked that Ted had a way of making others feel heard and valued, qualities that would serve him well in his future endeavors. After graduating high school, Ted discovered a fascination with the intricate world of gemstones and fine jewelry. He pursued certification through the American Gem Society, dedicating himself to mastering the craft. His ambition and passion eventually led him to Phoenix, Arizona, where during a chance visit to a local arcade, he met Corey, a spirited young woman with a love for painting and desert landscapes. Born in 1966 in Wickenburg, Arizona, Corey was a talented artist who had pursued a degree in fine arts. The pair bonded over their shared appreciation for beauty and design, and their connection quickly blossomed into a romance. Inspired by their shared dreams, Ted relocated to Arizona to be closer to Corey. With his encouragement, she began studying gem classification, and together they envisioned creating a jewelry business that would combine their skills. For years, they worked tirelessly to gain experience, with Ted taking jobs at local pawn shops while Corey completed her education. Their perseverance paid off when, in 1995, they opened their own jewelry store in Austin, Texas. The store quickly became a local success, earning a reputation for exceptional craftsmanship and unparalleled customer service. Ted's patience and genuine care for his clients were evident in every interaction, making him a beloved figure in the community. With their growing financial success, the couple built a sprawling home on the outskirts of the city and enjoyed a comfortable life. Despite their accomplishments, there was one thing missing: a child to complete their family. Unable to have biological children, they turned to adoption. In early 2000, after months of anticipation, they traveled to Ukraine, where they met Nicholas, a bright-eyed 16-month-old boy who immediately captured their hearts. Nicholas grew up surrounded by love and opportunity. Ted shared his passions with his son, teaching him to drive on a go-kart track and introducing him to car racing, while Corey nurtured his curiosity and artistic inclinations. Nicholas excelled in school, developed a love for martial arts, and earned a black belt in karate. Yet as he entered his teenage years, his interests shifted toward wealth and luxury, revealing an obsessive need for status and material possessions. By the time Nicholas graduated high school, his fixation on money had intensified. In 2017, his mother lent him $30,000 to start a business, hoping to support his entrepreneurial aspirations. But his ventures faltered, and mounting debt created a rift between him and Jacqueline, his girlfriend. The couple, who had secretly married that summer, began to argue frequently, their dreams of a prosperous future unraveling under the weight of financial strain. Desperate and cornered, Nicholas fixated on his parents' fortune. Theodore and Corey had built a successful business and held a life insurance policy worth $2 million, in addition to their $6 million estate. What began as a morbid joke between Nicholas and Jacqueline soon evolved into a sinister plan. If his parents were no longer alive, Nicholas would be the sole heir to their wealth. In late 2017, Nicholas began searching for someone willing to carry out the unthinkable, to murder his parents. His first approach was to a close friend, Spencer, to whom he offered $50,000 for the job. Spencer, horrified, refused and outrightly walked out on Nicholas that he was not going to be part of the plan. Undeterred, Nicholas turned to social media, determined to find someone who would help him execute his dark scheme. By February 2018, the couple's plot was fully in motion, leading to the fateful night that would end in tragedy. Nicholas contacted a woman employed at his apartment complex, offering her extra money. When she asked about the nature of the work, he proposed she kill 2 people in exchange for $20,000 per victim. Disturbed by the request, the woman cut off contact and, for safety reasons, her identity remains undisclosed. This incident was not an isolated case of Nicholas' desperation. Earlier, he had also approached a neighbor to borrow money under vague pretenses. The identity of this neighbor has similarly been withheld to protect their safety. Undeterred by rejection, Nicholas continued searching for someone willing to carry out his dark plan. A third individual, approached by Nicholas with the same grim offer, also refused. These repeated rejections, however, only seemed to fuel Nicholas' resolve. On Friday, February 23, 2018, he visited a local bar and struck up a conversation with Johnny Leon, a 21-year-old with a criminal history of drug offenses and petty theft. Over a few drinks, Nicholas laid out his job offer. He proposed that Johnny kill his parents, Theodore and Corey, in exchange for $100,000, payable in installments. Intrigued by the large sum, Johnny expressed tentative interest, though he appeared skeptical. Buoyed by Johnny's apparent willingness, Nicholas quickly texted Jacqueline, his girlfriend, to share the news. When Jacqueline questioned the enormous cost, Nicholas dismissed her concerns, telling her it was necessary to secure their future. Later that night, Nicholas and Johnny met at Nicholas' apartment to discuss the plan in greater detail. Nicholas outlined the layout of his parents' home, the security system, and the location of a drawer containing a gun. They agreed to meet again to finalize logistics. Johnny, sensing an opportunity, decided to bring in a friend for what he described as a simple moving job. By Monday, February 26, 2018, Nicholas' urgency had grown. A heated phone call with his mother, Corey, about an unpaid loan only added to his desperation. 2 days later, Johnny invited his friend Cameron Bosmek, a local construction worker, to Nicholas' apartment under the guise of assisting with the plan. Nicholas explained the scheme in detail, showing Cameron the side window they would use to enter the house and promising him $10,000 in 3 installments. Horrified by the revelation, Cameron immediately refused and walked out. That evening, he confided in his wife, who urged him to distance himself from Johnny and Nicholas. Left alone with Johnny, Nicholas grew more insistent. Late that night, they drove to Austin, intending to scout the area and prepare for the attack. However, as they approached their destination, Nicholas had second thoughts, and they returned to College Station. By this point, Johnny was growing increasingly frustrated with Nicholas' indecision. The next day, Johnny introduced Nicholas to Ariane Smith, a 23-year-old woman recently released from prison after serving time for drug-related charges. Unlike Cameron, Ariane was willing to entertain the proposal. Nicholas explained the plan in meticulous detail, describing how he would remotely deactivate the security system to grant them access. The attack was scheduled for March 2, 2018. On the night of March 1st, as Theodore and Corey wound down from their day, Johnny and Ariane finalized their approach. Arriving at the house around 4:30 a.m., they entered through a side window near Nicholas' old bedroom after Nicholas deactivated the alarm system. Inside, Ariane retrieved the gun from the designated drawer. However, the family's dogs began barking, alerting Theodore and Corey to the intrusion. Chaos erupted as Theodore confronted the intruders. Ariane fired multiple shots, fatally wounding Theodore, while Johnny killed one of the dogs. Corey, determined to protect herself, retrieved her own firearm and fired blindly down the hallway, causing the intruders to flee. Terrified, Corey took refuge in a closet and called 911, staying on the line until police arrived. A mix-up with the address delayed officers, forcing Corey to endure an agonizing wait. When they finally entered the home, Theodore was pronounced dead from multiple gunshot wounds. The crime scene was chaotic, with bullet holes riddling the walls and the house in disarray. Investigators quickly deduced that the intruders had entered through the side window. Inside Nicholas' old bedroom, they discovered an empty gun case, raising further suspicions. Corey's account of the attack, combined with Nicholas' peculiar behavior upon returning to the house, deepened the investigators' doubts. Nicholas' immediate focus on the side window and his lack of apparent concern for his father's death struck officers as highly unusual. Further investigation revealed that Nicholas had access to the family's alarm system and that it had been deactivated at the time of the break-in. When questioned, Jacqueline provided an alibi for Nicholas, insisting he was with her during the attack. However, her nervous demeanor and inconsistent statements only fueled investigators' suspicions. As forensic testing continued, the district attorney's office joined the case, suspecting that Theodore's murder was premeditated. Investigators worked tirelessly to piece together the events leading up to the attack, determined to uncover the truth behind this heinous crime. As the investigation continued, Corey found herself engulfed in grief and uncertainty. In the days following her husband's death, she closed the jewelry store indefinitely and arranged for his cremation, a task that left her emotionally drained. While Corey grappled with her loss, her son Nicholas seemed oddly detached. On the same day she struggled to finalize the arrangements, Nicholas exchanged text messages with his friend Spencer, asking if he wanted to see photos of the crime scene. Nicholas even boasted that investigators had returned his phone, interpreting it as a sign he was no longer a suspect. Corey, preoccupied with her mourning, remained unaware of her son's unsettling behavior. The investigation began to shift in tone when Corey was summoned for a second round of questioning. This time, the interrogation was more probing, with detectives treating her less as a grieving widow and more as someone who might hold answers to the crime. Corey felt the weight of suspicion pressing down on her. Meanwhile, Nicholas also remained under scrutiny, as investigators were not ready to rule him out entirely. On March 5, 2018, police officers expanded their investigation, interviewing neighbors at Nicholas's apartment complex. These inquiries led to a significant breakthrough. An employee Nicholas had contacted through social media came forward with shocking details. The employee recounted Nicholas's disturbing proposal, confirming suspicions that his motivations were far from innocent. Days later, armed with a search warrant, investigators combed through Nicholas and Jacqueline's apartment. Their search yielded damning evidence, including ammunition that matched the bullets used in the murder and a marriage certificate that revealed the couple's secret wedding. When Corey learned of the clandestine marriage, she was both heartbroken and furious. She confronted Nicholas, reproaching him for not being upfront. Corey assured him that, had she known, she would have supported the marriage and even planned a proper wedding. In an attempt to restore some semblance of normalcy, Nicholas and Jacqueline moved back into Corey's home. Despite the growing mountain of evidence, Corey clung to the belief that her son was innocent. Determined to support him, she transferred control of the jewelry store to Nicholas and hired a team of attorneys to build his defense. However, the case against Nicholas only grew stronger. Phone records revealed discrepancies in his alibi, placing him in the city 2 days before his father's murder. Investigators also uncovered more incriminating text messages between Nicholas and Jacqueline, detailing their plans and further implicating them in the crime. In May 2018, detectives located Spencer and brought him in for questioning. During the interview, Spencer disclosed the financial motive behind Nicholas's actions, revealing the large inheritance Nicholas expected to claim by eliminating his parents. Spencer also provided text messages that corroborated his account, effectively clearing himself of suspicion. By the end of May, Nicholas and Jacqueline were arrested. Both faced charges of solicitation to commit capital murder, with Nicholas's bail set at $3 million and Jacqueline's at $1 million. The arrests, however, did not mark the end of the investigation. Detectives painstakingly reviewed security footage from Nicholas and Jacqueline's home, which showed 2 men visiting the residence in the days leading up to the murder. One of the men was identified by a logo on his shirt, leading investigators to Cameron, an acquaintance of Nicholas. A visit to Cameron's residence revealed even more. His wife provided the name of a second man, Johnny, who was quickly brought in for questioning. Johnny's confession unraveled the rest of the plot. He admitted to his involvement and implicated another accomplice, Ariane, as the shooter. Ariane was apprehended months later after a lengthy search. During his interrogation, Ariane broke down, expressing remorse for his role in the crime. He admitted to firing the fatal shot that killed Theodore and led detectives to the missing weapon, one of Nicholas's guns. Jacqueline, in the meantime, confessed to knowing about Nicholas's intentions from the start, a revelation that earned her a reduced bail in exchange for her cooperation. In 2021, the case reached its conclusion. The district attorney, initially seeking the death penalty, opted for plea deals under new leadership. Nicholas, Ariane, and Johnny each received 35-year sentences with the possibility of parole. Jacqueline, divorced by that time, pled guilty to attempted solicitation of murder and received a lighter sentence: 4 months in jail, 10 years of probation, 300 hours of community service, and a restriction from leaving Texas without permission. Her punishment included an annual 2-day jail term on the anniversary of Theodore's death. Corey, unable to attend the final hearing, recorded a victim impact statement that was played in court. Her message conveyed a mix of grief and resolve as she reflected on the betrayal and loss she had endured. She spoke of her love for Theodore and the unimaginable pain of losing him at the hands of her own son. Despite the devastation, Corey vowed to rebuild her life, though she severed all ties with Nicholas, choosing never to speak to him again. Thank you for listening to True Crime Pulse. Share your thoughts on the story. Until next time, stay vigilant.